We made it. All right. I think we're in all the frames.
Yes. I think we were just running a few minutes behind, but you know, sometimes technical difficulties happen, so we had to get it right.
Or the kids.
Technical.
How to get our kids set, you know.
Well, it was a mixture of today's, but yeah.
But we're here. We're an hour early, a little less than an hour early, because we have some trainings tonight. We want to keep ourselves fresh for for what we offer and what we provide for our clients. So we have some training tonight with Ronnie B. So we're excited about that. We wanted to come and still do our live today because we're committed to show up every week. Yeah, show up every week and be consistent, like Kim said. So we'll give a little time.
Hey, G-Ma.
G-Ma is in the house. Thank you, G-Ma, for showing up. But we'll get started in a few seconds here. Kim's just getting us set up on Instagram.
You know, Instagram. You know, you gotta write in. You gotta pin your comment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after you go live.
They don't let you just slide up in there like Facebook.
Yes.
You know? So we'll give it a second. But man, we are getting through this era of social distancing. But we're keeping it positive over here.
Right.
You know, we're in faith for recovery, both health-wise for those who are experiencing this from a health standpoint, but also for businesses and for careers and everything. We're just in faith for full restoration for everyone. So, you know, we're staying prayed up over here, and we're looking for opportunities to just
praying up and being wise too.
Yeah, right.
You know,
we're staying home.
Faith without works, you know, you got.
Yeah. Definitely, we're staying home, you know, and we're adhering to what the government and the state level
doing both parts.
What they're asking us to do, you know. So we urge everyone that we get a chance to talk to on these lives, or if you catch these lives after they're no longer live, right? That you're staying safe and you're being blessed. So. Shout out G Wayne in the building.
Yes.
All right, we want to intro us in there. Bippy in the building. What's up?
Yes.
No, we don't go off of this one. Okay.
Yes, and disclaimer. Well, first off, great evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Like Cleveland, you know, I usually do the welcome, but he had to do it while I was getting stuff together.
Yeah.
All right, be right back. All right, we got you. Happy Tuesday. Thank you all for joining us on our weekly live today. Like Cleet said, we hope you all are staying safe, staying prayed up, and, just, maximizing on the time that we all have to, be in our homes, be with our families and loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm trying to adjust one of the
He's still
cameras.
trying to move the thing.
We got.
Hey, Bree.
We're trying to be on all the platforms so we can catch everybody.
Yeah, so, and that's the disclaimer. I'm sorry. Thank you for saying that. So that's another disclaimer. So if you see us looking like over here, if I'm looking over here, we have some platforms over here and some right over here, okay? Yeah. We're at the Brandon Geeks. Mm-hmm. You might be viewing us on the back, the brat. She must be talking about me. No, I'm just
the brat? I don't know.
People say that.
But hey, that's all right.
No, the Brandon Geeks on Facebook and on Instagram at the Brandon Geeks, and we're also streaming from our personal platforms, Cleeton Gums and Kimberly Gums, both on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Bree.
Yeah.
How about I'll get this side? Okay. You do that side. Okay.
You're right. But yeah, we were scrambling a little bit. We wanted to start at 7, like we were saying. We have a training that we're going to be getting into. So let's dive into it.
Yes. So today's topic, we noticed it on, for some time now. We've been getting, client of ours and also just people that, we speak to have some misconceptions of what web designers do versus graphic designers.
Right.
Some people think it's just the same person, and it's really not. So we just wanted to give you 5 misconceptions of 5 misconceptions of web designers and graphic designers.
Do you want to define them and then I dive into the misconception, or you want me to just get into my bag?
I'll define them first, okay? And I'm gonna look at my notes, okay? So let me get into my notes. Hey, Q Sweets. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
So web designer is a designer that designs collateral intended for the web. So that may include web page layout and also wireframing and building out of those pages on, a website.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say it?
No, because
okay, I'm gonna get into your notes. And also, it's also mainly skilled in, or web designers are also mainly skilled in HTML and CSS and some design skills, but it's not a requirement. And I know some might, think that's gibberish or a foreign language, but Cleet can get into that more so because that's more his lane, his wheelhouse, his specialty, and what he does. Being skilled in HTML and CSS. I was saying you might get into more specifically when we get into the misconceptions of what those are. And also, a graphic designer is a designer that designs collateral intended for both web and print.
Mm-hmm.
And, that includes any logo designs, flyer, postcard designing, banners, brochures, social media graphics, etc. That's graphic designer.
And there's a big difference. I mean, I think, you may see Kim, she's defining them, and you may say, I know what that is, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised as we get into conversation with clients, as we, work in our 9 to 5. Me particularly, you start to see that there is this gray area that people get a little confused with. And if you are a content creator, you have no idea what a web or a graphic designer does, then you don't care, right? You want to get the service done.
Right.
So, like Kim said, the big difference is a web designer is more technical. They're kind of almost a tech person, but they have, they stay on the front end of the technical process of what's created online. All right. So, think of web applications, think of apps, right, for your phone and even for your TVs, right? Think of websites. So a web designer is going to be associated with the front end of these tools that we use online. Okay, graphic designer is quite different. Graphic designer is traditionally more of a designer, right? And their role is they're the ones that you'll normally associate with when you're talking about branding, right? So they're going to help you create a logo. They're going to help you create flyers and brochures and banners and all of the artsy stuff, right, that you're accustomed to. However, they may not be technical. Okay, they may matter of fact, they may not have a technical bone in their body, right? Although they may have learned Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and even learned Canva, and they may be creative, they don't necessarily have the technical backing. So I think it's important for us to delineate the differences, and that's what we wanted to do with this live. We wanted to take some time to just talk about,
break it down,
because really it's going to help you as you are, pursuing your business, right? And you're growing your business. It's going to help you to ask the right questions and to have the right expectations. You can't, we've had clients that said, hey, I gave it to this designer. I told him to come up with something amazing. You'll see that's one of the points. And they came up with something that was totally different, totally something I didn't like. It's like, well, you can't expect to give a designer or artist a white canvas and expect them to create what's in your mind. They're going to create what's in their creative mind. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But those are the biggest difference. There's a technical aspect and there's a creative aspect. And they're two different things that have nothing to do with each other. Right. Although they have overlap at times, they have nothing to do with each other. So. Right.
And I was going to get into, too, maybe towards the end, we'll get into with the branding geeks, we're kind of an anomaly. We kind of, we do both. We're kind of special in a good way.
Yes, because of design and architecture senior high.
Oh, gosh.
School of the elite.
Where he went to high school, guys. I know many of you don't know what that is, but seems to think that everybody knows.
You don't have to know.
Where it is.
Just look us up in the rankings. He went to Dash, in the country, okay?
At a mall.
Wow, why you gotta put us out? Yeah, our school is at a mall, you know what I mean? But it was a design. It's in matter of fact, go over there now. We're in the design district of Miami, where they got all of the top designer brands right down the street. art galleries, you name it. It's the top of the line school for the design elite. Okay, so let's not even go there. You can't come for us now. You know, back in the day, we was off the map. We're on the map now, even though y'all
After
know
you
about
left.
Wow, what was the point of that?
I'm sorry, y'all, but he is always. I'm from Palm Beach, and he's always
Where's
going
that?
in about Palm Beach. Okay, about Miami this, Miami that. Okay.
I'm just saying, if you look on a
So
map,
I
you're
have
gonna
to
see Orlando,
get it in when I
Jacksonville,
can get it
and
in.
Miami.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, so listen, do we need to do? We'll bring back the rankings for the next live. We'll see what school is on the higher level. I'm just saying. Anywho, let's dive into the 5 misconceptions.
Yes,
So,
let's not get off topic here.
because we're elite.
We don't want to bore the people.
Okay, so the first one is so we're talking about misconceptions of graphic and web designers. Okay, so first one is the first misconception is that every graphic designer can build websites and every web designer can design graphics.
One moment, can you do me a favor? Can you just close the door? I want to soundproof this. You know, we're getting a little feedback in the back of the little ones, so we just want to make sure that you all can hear us. Because I know if I can hear the background, it might be echoing a little bit. So
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Trying to get that cameo.
Yes.
Okay. Where were we?
Point number one.
So one of the first misconceptions is that every graphic designer can build websites and every web designer can design. So as I just mentioned in the intro, this is not true. You know,
Right.
every web. So you have, matter of fact, I'll give a perfect example. I had a good friend of mine. Shout out to Jamar Ignacio. I went to college with him, and he was a phenomenal web designer. He could come up with some really extravagant websites, and he was building websites in the early 2000s, which required a lot of HTML and CSS. So he was coding from scratch, and taking the shape and then coding it so that it can show up correctly on the screen. This was before responsive design, so he was a really great web designer, but he was not a graphic designer. He couldn't just come up with logo designs or all kind of graphics. His mind didn't work that way. But he can take, graphics or something that a graphic designer will lay out for him and make a really powerful and well-designed website. So that's just an example of how the different skill sets, how they differ, right? You can, although they have some overlapping, there's a skill set that, there's certain skills that it take to be able to look at code and recognize code and write code. And then there's different skill sets it takes to go and start from scratch and create a design that people are going to be in love with. So, primary thing we want to, highlight there is that although they have some overlapping, they're very different skills. Okay. Second misconception is that every web designer knows how to optimize your website for search or drive traffic to your website. Okay. So this is something we got often where, we built a website. This was actually earlier, right? We started to talk about this up front because we realized it was a thing. But we would build a website. It would look amazing for a client. And then they'll be like, I'm not getting anybody to my website. I don't know what you guys did wrong.
Right.
And we would always have to, come back to them and say, well, it doesn't come like a free package. Like as soon as this website is done, 1,000 people are going to hit the website, right? There's some work that needs to be done on the client's end, on, the business owner's end to get people to actually come to your website.
Which is marketing.
Which is called marketing, right? It's very different than web design. Web design is building the tool for you.
Right.
Building, we talked about, we used this analogy about websites in the past. Websites being your apartment, your virtual apartment, right? So you have, I'm not gonna get into the details, but it's your virtual apartment in the online world, right? So you have this nice apartment, but if you never give anyone an address, right, they don't know where the apartment exists. They can't come in and say, wow, look at this furniture. Look how you set up your TV and your couch and everything. They won't be able to experience your your virtual apartment because you never provided the address.
Right.
Well, marketing is the process of distributing, right, that address in various ways through content, right? So you may have a lead magnet, hey, here's a guide to have the best fashion this fall, right? That's a lead magnet that's designed to grab an email or provide a link to a user to bring them back to a website or to a page that you want, right? It could be Facebook or Google Ads. It could be all of these different things that cause people to come back to your website. But once again, the misconception is, oh, I paid X amount of money for a website. Now people are just going to flock to the website and, I'm going to have to deal with this onslaught of people. It's not an automatic situation. You have to, now that you have your website built, you have to drive traffic. And then
set up some funnels.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I talked about the traffic portion of it, but the search engine portion of it is a whole nother strategy as well.
Or some of you might know it as SEO.
SEO, thank you. In SEO, there's certain strategies for optimizing your search engine results that has changed over the years. So back in the day, it was all about keywords. Threw a bunch of keywords on a page on your website, and you drew traffic there. Well, there's been 12 different iterations of that since then. And you have to be able to follow what the latest trends are. So you need to get with a professional who knows the strategies and can point you in the right direction.
Right.
Okay. So that's the second misconception. The third one is that web designers can build apps and set up marketing automation. Okay. So I talked about it a little bit earlier that although under that web design title, the web designer may be able to build websites. They may have some skills in building apps, but the code it takes to build a website is different code for apps. So it's not assumed that they can build an app. So when searching for a web designer or if you're looking for an app, then you need to realize that I can't just go to a regular get that. And then equally so, like we mentioned with driving traffic, all web designers aren't privy or aren't skilled in driving traffic, right? So they may not know. They may not know anything about email marketing campaigns and marketing automation, right? Like having the if and conditioning where you can say, okay, if a person goes to this page and they make this much money, send them here. And there's a lot of strategy and skill that's involved in that. That's once again falls under the marketer, the digital marketer title, and not so much web designer. Okay. The fourth one.
And before you get into that, I just want to interrupt real quick. Doesn't really have nothing to do with the points that he's doing, but I just want you all I just want to step right in, just say thank you so much for joining our live. If you can, please share this live right now with your following and let them know, like, you're getting some awesome tips on, knowing the difference between what a web designer does and what a graphic designer does.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's going to save you a lot of headache. I promise you,
so please share.
There's nothing worse than getting down the road and realizing, oh man, I'm working with the wrong person.
Yeah, that part.
You know what I mean? So hopefully this can be some help to you all, and definitely we try to leave at the end of it. We try to leave it open for questions. But if you want to ask questions right through it, feel free to ask questions.
Yes.
We'll jump in and answer. Okay. So I hit the last 2 points, and then we'll open it up for questions. The fourth one is the misconception. We're talking about 5 misconceptions, right? So the fourth misconception is that graphic designers know how to create animations and moving graphics, right? So a lot of times I'll hear clients that say, yeah, can you create one of them moving things at the beginning, and I want my logo to come in and fly in, and then the birds to fly out the logo, right? And while I can understand the question coming to the designer, say, okay, if you can create this stuff, you should definitely be able to do this stuff.
Right.
But once again, it's not a given thing, right? It doesn't come packaged, right? It's not like you go to school and it's like, okay, we're going to learn graphics here, then we're going to spend 2 years on animation, and then that's your full graphic design. There are roles and there are titles that are associated with animators. They're called animators, right? So they work for Disney and all these places, and they specify that skill set. If you do a Google search, you're looking for, I need an animator, you will find someone who can help you do those type things.
And now, if you need a simple one, thanks to Canva, you could just go right on and create an animated graphic yourself.
Right, and you're starting to see that. These are SaaS products, right? These software as a service products are starting to think about ways they can streamline these services to entrepreneurs. Because the entrepreneur doesn't really want to spend thousands of dollars trying to figure out how to get an animator to do simple things. Let's just create some simple templates for them, and let's get them doing what they do best. Okay. And the last thing I'll say, the last misconception is that I mentioned this earlier, right? That, hey, let me go to a designer. They're a professional. Let me just say, hey, listen, create me something cool. Just do your thing. Just I know you're creative. I know you're really good at this stuff. I don't know what I want. Just throw something at me. I know it'll be good. Not good. No, ma'am, no, sir. It's not going to work that way. I think the reality is you have to think about the fact that you have something. We all have our own styles, right? Even if you come from the same family as someone, even if you're married to someone, you have different styles and different likes. So the same thing happens for a designer. While a designer is skilled in creating and taking things that are in here and bringing them out to the world, they don't have the ability to just create any and everything, right? Now you have some super skilled ones that can make something out of nothing, but you don't want to make your task ultra difficult for your for your designer, right? So what you want to do is come to them with some ideas or some examples of something that you want to get done.
Sorry. When you have little ones and you hear the door cracked open and all you hear is, Mommy. Yes, Paris.
Stop it, Paris, please. Okay, we're almost done.
We'll be there.
Oh, she's like, whispering the whole time.
Mommy, that's not working. All I hear is this little voice through the crack of the door.
Lord.
Yes, he said yeah. So yes.
Anyway, so that was the last misconception is that you can just tell them to do anything. You're gonna love it.
Right.
You want to make their life easier by at least pointing them in the direction or being willing to have the conversation about some of the things you like. If you can identify what you like or even what you don't like, that at least starts to narrow it down for them, and then they can create something that you love. Right.
I want to throw in an extra misconception about both web designing and graphic designing, but I think it will fall more so in the web designer's role, where we've seen with past clients of ours that because you have hired your web designer to do your website project, the misconception is that we also will do your copyright for you, your copy for you.
That's
which
big.
Is all the written words on your website.
Yes.
And that's not the case. That's not a role of a web designer. We're not copywriters.
That's beast. I'm mad I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's true.
One of the major misconceptions. And they're like, oh, where's all the words on the pages?
It's like, I'm not a writer. When did I write sales copy? Did I go to sales copy school?
You provide your content and we will place them on each of the pages or, the specific places that they go to on your website. But
yeah, and one for that very reason, we started working with writers. For Branding Geeks, we started working with writers so we can take that task off of the client, because the other part is it starts to delay the project because the client is now trying to become a writer. They know nothing about that. They just want to sell their t-shirts, right? So, it becomes difficult for them to deliver on the copy, and now it extends the project. So, that's just a whole other conversation. But, the long and short of it is when you get in a website built from a web designer, they're not a copywriter. So you have to think about that. Like, I have to come into this project understanding I have to provide copy. And if I don't know what I want, then let me ask the designer, if they know a writer, or let me go out and grab a writer ahead of time and come to the designer saying, hey, listen, here's all the copy. here's the website. I have an idea that I want. Can you just pull this together and use your skills? And they were like, oh man, you're the best client ever.
Right.
So that's it, y'all.
That's
what we get.
Yeah, so any questions about tonight's live or on any of the misconceptions of a web designer or graphic designer or any just general branding questions at all?
Like kidding
Yeah.
Good.
Any questions at all? We don't want to hold you much too longer. We thank you all again for joining us this week.
Hope you all stay safe out there.
Yes.
But yeah, the questions don't have to be on misconceptions of web and graphic design. It could be anything. Like, hey, you know what?
Branding.
What those colors mean? You know, I'm trying to get my logo done. You know, how much does it? You know, what the price is? Anything. Like, we're here to help. You know, we want to become a resource for you all. So no question is dumb.
And it doesn't seem like we have any questions right now, so that's okay.
Yeah.
We can end it right here. But I do want to say we are keeping our word, and we will send out shortly the list from last week's live on the some of our favorite apps and softwares that we use. So we'll be sending those out if you have requested it. If you have not requested it and you would like that VIP list, go ahead and DM us your email address, and we will get back with you with that list.
Yeah.
Other than that, thank you all so much for joining us this week. We hope you all have a better than ever week. And also, if you are not already following us, please follow us and like. I was about to say subscribe, but we're not on YouTube just yet. Follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. We're at The Branding Geeks. Go ahead and check out our website as well, www.thebrandinggeeks.com. And if you all do have any other questions that might come up after the live, you could go ahead and DM us or even shoot us an email. Contact us at thebrandinggeeks.com.
All right.
Do you have anything else to say?
No. Just like I said, I already said, stay safe. Appreciate y'all for listening today. And
yes.
We'll be back with more content.
Yes, we will see you all next week. Oh, has a question. Britt has a question.
Okay, what you got? Maybe, was it up there or no?
Let me see. What is the question? What's the question, Bree?
We'll give it a little time.
Yeah, because I know like sometimes it's like slightly delayed where, the live versus once you start getting it's on one of y'all's.
Is it on there?
Oh. Nope, not on that. Oh no. Let's see.
Oh, you know what? We're not showing the thing on here. I just realized that. We could have been getting.
Oh.
Wait, that's the right comments. What do I do? Is it a plus sign? Nope.
Yeah.
I don't see where we would see it unless we.
I think it's because of the layout that we have it in. Sorry, y'all underneath who might not see that.
Do we swipe up? Now, we might need to start doing this on the side now.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, we're making it work. They don't even give a button. So, what we'll do for Bree, what we'll do is for Britt.
She said on SEO tips.
What about SEO tips? What can we talk about?
What was the question on SEO tips? Sorry.
Any tips
on SEO?
Sure.
And for those of y'all who don't know what SEO is, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Hey, Major.
Major moves. What's up, Major moves? Okay, so tips on SEO. So like I talked about earlier, back in the day, one of the main things everyone, and it still is the reputation for whatever reason, but you put a bunch of keywords on the page and you would get traffic to your website. Now, and it's been this way for the last several years, for SEO, you want to create content that is centered around your offering for your website, right? So if you're a blogger and you're talking about vacationing, right? You want to have a lot of content around the topic of vacationing, right? It seems like it's second nature. So maybe blogging is a good example. Maybe let's say if you are in healthcare, right? You have a website where you do you sell insurance or whatever. I'm just throwing examples out there. On your website, you're going to want to have blog posts about, insurance and about, why you need insurance and content that is centered around the product offering you have. And what happens is now Google has a smart crawler, is what we call it in the tech world, where it's going to look at the arrangement of that content and to see if it's rich content, is what we call it, right? So it's going to look and see if it's rich content. If that content is rich, it gets a higher ranking over stuff that looks fake, stuff that is very limited. So now there's some strategy around how many words each post should be and different things like that. You can do a Google search on that, but that's one of the primary things I like to tell clients is understanding that I can no longer create a static website. So a static website is where you created an about page, a contact page, a services page, right? And then you have the home page, and that was about it, right? You created a page, and it's like, I call it a glorified business card. So it sits there. You refer people there anytime that you want them to see your services. Maybe they fill out a form, and that's about it. But in order to have a SEO optimized website for search engines, you want to have a dynamic website which has a blog. So every website, in my opinion, should have a blog where you're creating content that is going to continue to drive people to your website, and it's going to be that rich content that you can continue to center around your offering. If you're offering websites, if you're offering styling, whatever the case is, you want to blog about that in order to get traffic back to your website. And if you keep creating more of that content, it's going to give you a higher SEO ranking.
And Major said getting coverage through publicity. Wow.
Okay.
Getting coverage through publicity is good for SEO too. I was tongue-tied. But yes, that's so true. Thank you, Major.
Yeah, and one of the things she's kind of alluding to is how you would get so basically, let's say from a publicity standpoint, let's say if it's a local news station, right? And they if they post something you've done, now you're going to get all of their traffic, all of their SEO ranking associated with you. So this is something Major is alluding to. Like, you're going to be able to and that's getting into influence marketing and all of that stuff like that. But it's a way to leverage the influence of another business that has higher rankings than you, right? So Major, obviously she's in PR, so that's her area. She'll be able to help you all with that. But that's a great way to leverage SEO. So hopefully those are some good tips.
Yes.
Anything else? You love the questions, as you can see. I get excited with the questions. Okay.
Well, if not, thank you all so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, and we'll figure out the questions for next week.
I don't know. I think it's...
But we haven't been seeing them on Facebook. So I think we need to go to the other view. So we'll get that figured out for next week. But thank y'all for coming on.
Yes.
Get us some training and continue to develop our skill set from our coach. So
have a great night.